This is my monstera adansonii, and I have two variations right now. I have the small form or narrow, and then I have the wider, bigger form on your left side, or depending on where you're looking at, which way you're looking. This is the wide form. The leaves do get bigger. This is your narrow form. It does get, it stays relatively smaller. It does get viney. The stems are a lot smaller. These guys can get massively big. They can get, on a moss pole, if you grow them correctly, these guys can get pretty big. Whereas this one, the smaller narrow form, they don't get that big. They really don't. And I really like this plant. They are great for frog tanks. If you keep frogs, if you, but yeah, they, this was cut 2 weeks ago. And, you know, I'm fortunate because I keep fish aquariums and then my water as well. So that gives me an advantage. The fact that both of my water is as natural as you can get. And so, and then my fish tank, I have nitrate. So that gives me an advantage over your city water or any city water. So I do have a little advantage with my watering system, and that's another topic that I would want to touch. If you're propagating, do let your water sit overnight so the chlorines can evaporate. And so yeah, otherwise it doesn't kill them. I don't think it does, but it does slow their growth a little bit. Getting back to the adansonii, I really love this plant. Super easy to propagate. My first purchase was I don't have the mother plant with me right now. It's at a place I'm staying at. I pay $18 for the mother plant, and I've propagated over 100 that I've given away, and I've got another, I don't know how many I have here. I mean, I don't know how many I have. I would love to do a contest where somebody guessed it right, and I'll send them whatever, you know. But that's this is something. These are pretty cheap. I don't need to do that. You can get them at your big box stores now. They're readily available. 2 years ago, they were a little bit harder to find, but now they're just everywhere. You can get them at your grocery stores now. They're pretty cheap. I wouldn't pay more than $15 for, say, this size or smaller. I still wouldn't pay over $15. Don't pay over $15. Your wider form is starting to show up a little bit more, but I want to focus on the narrow form. I just wanted the wider form. I just brought it out just to kind of make comparisons, but ideally, this is your wide form. They get big and they get bigger. But I want to focus on the small form. This is just your adansonii. This is pretty cool. I'm gonna moss pull the bigger one, the smaller ones, and let them grow big. But focus on the adansonii, the narrow form. The adansonii cannot withstand cold. If you left it outside during the winter anywhere, it'd be dead. Even if you kept it in the garage, it'd still be dead. The roots cannot handle any cold. So it's always got to be in-house. No direct sunlight. It will just burn the leaf. And they like to stay dry, believe it or not. Humidity, any above 50 and 70 is great. You know, 50 to 70, you're great. Even on the drier humidity, they're fine. I've kept them in my garage during the summer, and they seem to be fine. But I will caution you. This is what happens to lack of humidity. Your leaves will dry, dehydrate. They will shrivel up like this. And so if you like that kind of look, that's you. But if you don't like that look, then keep the humidity high, because they do capture moisture in the air. So the narrow, smaller adansonii is awesome. Frog tanks, you can keep them in your frog tanks. They do get viney and they do get long, but it's very easy to manage, easy to propagate, and they are very sought after. Anybody that's just starting out in a houseplant world will want one. So they're in high demand. They are plentiful, so the demands are being met. Nonetheless, if you have one, it's great. It's a plant starter, it's a plant giver. I've given maybe 50 plus plants of this to people, and this is also something that I normally give to folks that buy plants from me. I do sell plants. I do, so that's my side hustle. I do sell plants, and if somebody buys a certain amount, I usually give something. I always ask if they have them. If they don't have them, then I was like, hey, and then I'll surprise them. I don't tell them I'm giving them. I always surprise them after the fact, and it always makes them happy. Nonetheless, adansonii, I love this plant. It's super easy beginner plant, super easy to propagate, and I love the adansonii so much that I have the tricolor, I have the mint, aureus, and then I have the Lecturliana, and I have one obliqua, and I'm gonna get the Escalito, and then there's a bunch of other ones that I don't know of that I will eventually get. The Escalito one is the one that the leaf gets monsterly big, and then it fenestrates. So until then, I will moss pull this narrow form. I will moss pull the wide form. I will moss pull the Escalito and obliqua. Ultimately, I will have it all. Right now, I have 6 types in my possession that I'm growing. But nonetheless, though, back to the adansonii, they're pretty cool. I really like them. You will get different variations of fenestrations throughout your plants and throughout its growth, and it's all dependent too on your feed and the time of the month, day, whatever. You know, it's kind of really weird. I mean, if you look at this one here, it's got a lot of fenestrations. It's got a lot of holes. I mean, and then you know, they're all. This was a time where I overwatered it, and this one's pretty cool. I like this. So this you could almost pass for a obliqua, but so, and then you get your times when it's a little bit cold or not so, the weather conditions not so great. You get this kind of leaves because it wants to hold that leaf whole so it can take more energy. Yeah, so this is my top cutting that I had recently, and it hasn't rooted, but you know, these things are super easy to propagate. I enjoy them. They don't root rot like my other plants do. These ones I directly cut and put in water. Again, I'm fortunate because my water is well, and I use my fish tank water, so I have an advantage. This was a 2-week or 3-week cutting. You can see the roots, and then this was a 2-week cutting. The roots are there, but not as much as your 3 weeks. And they do need a lot of sun when you propagate. When I say sun, not direct sun, indirect sun. If you can have an area where your room is light, equal amount throughout the room, your plants will be awesome. It won't lean, it won't, it will just grow straight up like this. This is actually a top cutting, and this one for some reason has got a lot of root. That's crazy. Or not a lot of root, but just the root itself, like crazy. But nonetheless, This is adansonii, monstera adansonii. I really do love this plant. If you're just now starting out in the plant world, the house plant, this is a must-have plant. It's easy to propagate. It's easy to enjoy. It's a conversation starter. I mean, it's got it looks like alien plant. Looks like bugs went through it and chewed on it and whatnot. So yeah, this is I'm missing one glass. I know for sure because I cut my mother plant, or I chopped her, and I know I have more than this, but nonetheless, my soil is pretty much 60% perlites and then cocoa. The leaves, the roots are crazy. I have a lot of these. I love the adansonii. I'm sorry that I'm not focused. I'm looking for the other one of these that I cut. I know it's somewhere here. But hey, this is the adansonii. Easy to propagate. And you know, you can probably make your money to buy your other plants with this. Like, I can sell these cuttings for $1 locally, $2. Once I pot them, I usually charge $3. But I mean, it's a lot of work, and you can actually sell these to nursery, believe it or not. If you're you can create this as a nursery plant. I just have bigger goals now that I'm not doing the adansonii. I'm actually focused on more other stuff. But you can actually make a business out of this. I mean, imagine me cutting one mother plant, making a couple hundred plants out of this. By next year, it will grow like crazy. It'd be like this size right here. Easily that size. And you know, something like this, you could probably get about maybe $3-4 at the wholesale, and they'll probably sell it for like $8, whatever, you know. And you multiply that by 1,000, you're golden. Oh, video's getting long. This plant is getting long, so we'll call it a video then. Thanks for watching. I don't care if you subscribe, I don't care if you like, I don't care if you hate. Just my comments are disabled until I figure out how to disable that. Well, thanks for watching.